Hey, welcome back to the 5-Minute Strategist. So we're into Q4 now, we're in the swing of things. Hopefully you have a 90-day plan and you're working towards it for year end. But part of Q4 is also turning our attention to what's going to happen next year. What do we want to achieve? And the place that we have to start with that is, what is our vision for the business? What is our vision for our life? We have a tendency to think about what are we going to do next year in terms of SMART goals. And that's great, but SMART goals will limit your thinking. So when we set 1-year goals, it's much easier for us to be safe and stay in our little comfort zone and do things that we know we can achieve. If we can expand to a bigger vision for our business, that's when we become audacious. When we set those big goals that are equally exciting and terrifying. When we think about things we don't know how we're going to achieve because it's maybe 10 years down the road. So when you think 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, what do you see? What would make you feel like you have been successful in your business? That's how we set a vision that's big enough and exciting enough for everyone in our business to get behind. It doesn't require us to know how we're going to reach that vision in the next year, but it gives us something exciting to aim for that's more than just, I want to make X amount of revenue. No one except you is excited by a revenue goal because most people in your team are not sharing in the revenue. So you need to find something else that everybody can get behind. Then once you have your vision, you can start to think about goals. You can set all of the SMART goals that you want as long as they are steps towards that big vision. And so they can be attainable and time-bound and measurable and all the less than exciting things that goals get to be, but you can still see how that's a stepping stone to that great future. And that's how you stay motivated and motivate your team and get everybody pulling in the same direction, making decisions in the way you would make decisions because they can see where they're headed. So Q4 is a great time for you to take a look at what you're doing right now. What is your strategy right now? Are you thinking about, I need to make X amount of money in the next 24 months? Or are you thinking, I want to achieve Y in the next 10 years? When we're able to bring in that long-term thinking, we tend to make better decisions. When you're chasing a short-term result, all you're thinking about is, how do I make more revenue? How do I make more revenue? How do I make more revenue? You're not thinking about what it's costing you to make more revenue. You're not thinking about how hard your team are working. You're not even thinking about whether or not it's going in a direction that you still want to be in 10 years' time. And so we see these people hit these huge revenue goals and then shutter their business and come back with a whole different approach to things. So take a look at what you're doing right now. Do you have that long-term focus? If not, how can you bring that into your business as you start to think about 2025? I'm not suggesting you disrupt your plans or anything for Q4, but rather that as you go into 2025, you allow yourself to think more expansively. That means that you are more likely to look at what other opportunities are around you. What are the new things that are coming up that make you excited to get to your desk? What are the things that your clients are begging you for or telling you that they need that you could maybe build a whole new offer around? This is going to make your planning process for 2025 feel much more aligned with you and what lights you up. And that's going to make it that much easier for you to show up every day in 2025 and work that plan towards that exciting long-term vision in a way that keeps you fulfilled in the short term. That is what stops you falling back on, I just want to make X amount of revenue, and trying to drag yourself out of bed every day to do that. So as you go through Q4 and you work your plan, I want you to ask yourself, is your vision for your business big enough for you to grow into? Or are you playing it safe and staying in your comfort zone year after year?